In one of our last videos, where we introduced the concept of hooks, we mentioned that the Commodo/field storage package exposes a couple of hooks out of the box that let us perform some operations on some of the key events, for example the beforeSave and afterSave. Let's take a closer look at these and also the other useful hooks that we can use. In front of us we have a simple user model with a password field, among other ones. The field is special because it's always empty and a value is assigned to it only when a new password is set, for example by the user from a simple form in a web browser. And once a new password is set and the model instance is saved, we want to ensure that the user is aware of this change, so we will send him an email immediately once the process is complete. So to do that, we registered a new beforeSave hook, which first checks if there is a value assigned to the password field, and if so, dynamically registers a new afterSave hook callback function, in which we are sending the actual email and clearing the value of the password field once we're done, just so we reset the whole process. Although this looks good, there is a catch here. If we try to create a new user model instance, assign a new email and password to its respective fields, and finally save it, the password changed email would be sent. But we don't want to do that. This email should only be sent when setting a new password on existing users, not on brand new ones. For new ones, we might probably want to have a different flow, where we might want to send a welcome email instead. So in short, we must ensure that the password changed email is only set when the password has been changed on an existing user. To do that, instead of the beforeSave hook here, we're going to use the beforeUpdate, which, as the name itself might suggest, gets triggered only when the data in the database is about to be updated, or in other words, when we're dealing with an existing user and executing the same method will update him. Now that we made this change, we can see that there is no output in the console. But if we try to change the password, it's going to be there again, which is what we needed to achieve. There are 6 different hooks that are triggered when a save method is performed. We have the already seen beforeSave and afterSave, which are triggered before and after the database insert or update operation is performed, respectively. Then we have the beforeUpdate and afterUpdate, which are triggered in the same fashion, but only when a model instance is representing an existing database record, or in other words, a database update is about to be performed. And finally, the beforeCreate and afterCreate are triggered only when a model instance is not representing an existing database record, or in other words, a database insert is about to be performed. The last 2 hooks that we can use are the beforeDelete and afterDelete, which, as you might have already guessed, allow us to trigger some business logic before and after a delete operation is performed. These hooks can be used to perform some checks. For example, before deleting a user, we might want to check if the user has any unpaid bills. If so, we need to block the deletion and throw an appropriate message. So if we define a new beforeDelete hook here and then try to delete the user like so, the deletion would be successful. But if we set the has unpaid bills field to true, the deletion would be prevented and an appropriate message would be thrown. And that basically wraps it up. To sum up, in this video we've seen 8 different hooks that we can use in order to define custom business logic, be it performing additional actions when certain conditions are met, performing additional checks before deleting entries from the database, and so on. If some of these concepts explained here were not clear to you, please take a look at 2 of the previous videos in which we covered the basics of hooks and also dynamic hooks.